Welcome to this episode of Persistent Purpose with MJ Hunter. I am Coach MJ, global speaker, mindset strategist, emerging author, event producer, and serial entrepreneur extraordinaire. I'm so excited about this episode because in this one, I'm going to get to share something that is near and dear to my heart. The title of this episode is 6 Daily Habits to Supercharge Your Results. And if you've ever heard of Pareto's principle, it says that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your inputs. That means that 80% of what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're working on is not contributing to the outcomes that you want or don't want. Whatever you're getting or not getting, most of what you're doing, saying, thinking has nothing to do with it. The smallest part of what you're doing is giving you the biggest result. And you've also probably heard the statement, the devil's in the details, or I prefer the expression, God is in the detail. And that just means that it's in those small things, those mysterious things, those minuscule details that we think don't matter, where the biggest bang for your buck comes from, or where you'll find your biggest snafus if you overlook the wrong thing. Why does that matter? Most people are out here pursuing success in your personal life, success in your professional life, looking for what are the things I need to be doing? What are those big tricks? And the phrase hacks has been overdone recently. Everybody's talking about hacks and tricks and what is it I need to be working on? And while skill sets are important and while specific tasks are important, those smaller things behind the scenes, those daily habits are usually what's killing people. Most people don't think about their daily habits as far as how they are affecting how things are going at work, how things are going with their health, how things are going with their relationships, personal development or lack thereof. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the 6 daily habits that I have identified that have caused my life to shift dramatically. Now, even as I share these with you, I'm telling you right now, I am not perfect at any of these habits. However, I know that, and I notice when I am more meticulous with these habits, my results, my business, my personal life soars. But when I start to slack off, that's when I start to see problems and issues. And I am a person who has struggled my entire life with discipline, with consistency. And so I'm not saying that I do these things perfectly. Perfection is the goal. And I don't mean perfection like want to make it look like you never make mistakes, but perfection of getting things right as often as possible. That's how I see perfection. That is the goal. So I'm going to share with you these 6 habits, and I call them my 6G daily blueprint. I'm actually working on a book I'll be telling you guys about in a future episode that's going to help you to adopt these same habits. The 6G daily blueprint. Why 6G? Because all of them begin with the letter G. So that helps me to remember what these habits are. So let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, I forgot to mention. So it's 6 habits, but what I found with my mindset habits and other things, that when I have too much to do in the morning, if I don't do it all, I start to feel like I failed or like I messed up. And so I split it up so I don't have a whole lot to do in the morning or in the evening. So I do 3 of my habits in the morning and 3 in the evening. So there's 3 G's in the morning and 3 G's in the evening. So let's go ahead and get into the first G that I do in the morning. And that first habit is gratitude. So I am intentional, or my goal is to be intentional about not only being grateful and feeling gratitude, but writing down and reflecting on all of the amazing advantages I've been blessed with, all of the gifts, all of the things that are going well, because it's so easy in life, especially with the way the world is spun so negatively. It's very easy to focus on what's not working, what I don't have. But when you focus on what you're thankful for, because you know that you have a lot of things that are going well, but the more you focus on it, you recognize that you have way more things that are for you than might not be working against you. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I get to writing in my gratitude journal and writing things down and talking about them, it's hard for me to get into a space of asking God for anything or wanting anything, because it's like, you have so much, use what you have to build on it. So anyway, being in that space of gratitude helps you to draw to yourself more opportunities, more assets, more abundance, more just of everything that you want, because you're already recognizing what you already have. Where your focus goes, that's where your outcomes are going to come from. You're going to get more of whatever you focus on, whether it's positive or negative. So first thing in the morning, I speak things aloud. I thank God. I'm a believer, so I thank God for it. But then I need to write them down so that in the future I can look back during maybe some times of discouragement and recognize what I had to be thankful for. So that's the first G, which is gratitude. That's in the morning. The second G in the morning is what I call gems. So those gems are those golden nuggets, those precious stones, those things that are the empowering messages and beliefs that you need to write down and speak aloud. You write things down. Repetition for emphasis. When you write it down, it becomes real. But then you also need to speak it aloud. Sometimes people refer to these as affirmations. Sometimes they are just statements about who you are, who you want to be. And sometimes the things aren't necessarily true, but you want them to become true. But the more you speak about a thing, the more you believe it, whether it's positive or negative. So why not reinforce the positive things that you want to be in your life, the things that empower you, the beliefs that work for you? I have recordings in my phone. I have books filled with affirmations. There's videos I watch on YouTube, and I repeat them aloud. And I notice that over time, I start to believe those things are true because I keep saying it. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's true and what's not true. So if you keep telling it that you are an amazing person, that you're a beautiful person, you have lots of winning ideas, and everything you touch turns to gold, eventually those things will happen because you will begin to move in the way that makes those things become reality, because our minds want to be congruent with what it's seeing and what it's saying. So again, though, I call those my gems because I can repeat those throughout the day when I start my day off filling my mind with those gems. The third G, our goals. You knew the word goals was coming, right? Write down and commit to your intentions, not only for the day ahead, so the specific things you want to do in the day ahead, but also your future vision. Write down some of the major things that you are, goals that you are targeting in the future, whether it's things you want to become, traits you want to adopt, whether it's activities that you want to do, or it's possessions or opportunities that you want to have in the distant future. And please understand me. When I say distant future, I don't mean years and years. It could be next month. It's just not today. So you have a couple of things with your goals. You're writing down what I want to accomplish today. I actually use 5 different categories. There's my health and wellness. There's interpersonal relationships. There's my business and career. There's my money and finances. And there's personal development. Those 5 areas, my goal each day is to have a goal in each of those categories that I accomplish. Under business and career, there's actually more than one thing, because that's going to outline what I do for the day. But then also looking at my future and really sitting in the emotion and the reality of having those things or opportunities or situations that I'm envisioning in my future. So those are my goals, not only for today, but for the near or not so near future, because it's important that as you are working on items each day, that you are connecting them to your future vision. If you don't know where you're headed, you're not going to be doing things today to get you there. So continuing each day to just reflect on part of the things that you're envisioning in the future is going to help you to set your intentions for the day. So those are the 3 G's that I document in the morning. You can have 3 separate journals. You can have the same journal. You can use an electronic journal on your phone, a notebook, but it's important to write them down so that you have a record if you need to review them in the future. And also it solidifies your commitments. It solidifies your beliefs. It solidifies these pieces when you write them down. So remember, I said I had 3 G's in the morning. Now we're going to go to the 3 G's that I am. Now, this is the one that I am not as good at yet. My evening routine is not as fine-tuned as my morning routine. I'm a lot better with my morning routine than my evening. But ending your day with intention, a lot of people talk about the morning routine, but ending your day with intention is just as important and is as much of a supercharge to your results as what you do in the morning. So there's 3 G's in the evening that I'm constantly striving to incorporate into my evening routine so I can continue to set myself up for success. So ending my evening activities and getting ready for sleep with intention is important. So the 4th G, or the first evening G, is greatness. This is where you write down and celebrate your wins and your accomplishments. And this can be a tough one for people. It can be tough for some of us to celebrate ourselves, to give ourselves a pat on the back. A lot of people always seem to feel like there's something wrong with stopping and saying, I did a good job, without qualifying it, without saying, but this, but that. Celebrate what you did well. It could be something small a way that you did something during the day. It could be, listen, I celebrate things from back in my childhood, things I remember from middle school. Whenever you did something noteworthy, didn't have to be massive, but it's something that you did well. Learning how to ride your bike, learning how to read, graduating from 8th grade, learning how to drive. Those may be things we're like, oh, MJ, that's ridiculous. Anybody can do that. Well, everybody doesn't do those things. And just because other people do it doesn't mean it's great that you did it. We tend to take ourselves for granted and the things we've accomplished. But when you begin to write these down in a book that you can go back through, I call it my greatness gallery, where I can go back and see all the times where I did well. This is important because then you have references for in the future when you're down on yourself, or when you're thinking I'm worthless, or whatever those things are. But you're not going to be doing that anymore, because under GEMS, you're going to be counteracting those negative beliefs with positive beliefs. But there'll be times you have those down moments. When you have those down moments, you can flip through your greatness gallery and say, I'm amazing. Look at all the things I've accomplished. It doesn't matter whether they're big or small, last year, last month, or 20 years ago. Your greatness gallery needs to be stuffed with things that you celebrate. And you may not even think about them as celebrating, but to the extent that you write it down and you feel proud of yourself. It's easy for us to be proud of our children, proud of our friends, our other relatives, proud of people, celebrities and people we don't even know for what they accomplished. But sometimes it's harder to say, I'm proud of me, because look at what I've overcome. But you need those references for those times when you are not feeling as great, to be like, oh yeah, I overcame that. And I know I'm going to overcome this again. So celebrating your greatness every day, even if it's just one thing you write down, again, from the day that just ended, or from 40 years ago, whenever that was, write those things down. Notice how all of these begin with write it down. It's not enough to keep it up in your head. That's important as well. Also, some of you need to speak aloud. Read from your greatness gallery as well. The 5th G, or the second one that you do in the evening, is your gains. Ooh, there's no such thing. I love this one because there's no such thing as losses. You are always winning. You're gaining, not losing. Write down your losses that you have reframed as lessons, as decisions, or as improvements that you have made. You've learned another way that doesn't work. You've decided next time I'll do it a different way. I've improved, because even though I may still not have completed it or won per se, I'm better than the last time I tried it, or the last 10 times I tried it. Because here's what's true. Life is a journey. You're always working on things. And you never, I'm not going to say you never master things, but majority of the time you're working on things. Majority of your time you are working on skills. You're working on activities. You're working on character traits. Very little bit of life is in the arriving. Most of it is in the journey to get there. So reframe everything that happens, whether it's good or less good, so that you win, because sitting in the energy of losing makes you lose more. Remember, I said you attract what you focus on. So beating yourself up or saying, I screwed that up. No. You didn't screw it up. If nothing else, your gain was that you made another attempt at it. If nothing else, the gain is that you figured out another way not to do it, or you thought of, oh, next time I'll do this. That is a gain, to say, oh, I'm not going to do that again. I'll do it this way the next time. That's what you focus on. The learning, not on I didn't do it well, but now I know what to do better. That subtle shift is so powerful, but so many people miss it. And that's why they are not getting the results that they want. But you're not going to be like that. You're going to get the results you want because you're going to focus on what's working, what you've learned, what you've improved, or what you have decided. And these are your gains. And then the last thing, the last G that you're going to write down, this is the third one that you do in the evening, is the game plan. Never go to bed, never end the day without a plan for tomorrow. Write down what you intend to accomplish tomorrow. What does this do? It gives your subconscious mind something to chew on and be excited about for tomorrow. Because when you get there tomorrow to do those activities or make those, make that progress or do those accomplishments, you've already been there in your mind. Visualizing where you're going is more, I believe, is more than half of the way to getting you to where you want to go, is knowing where you're going. And it also allows you in the morning to be more intentional about what you do. You're not wasting time trying to figure out which way to go, and you're less likely to focus on the wrong tasks, the tasks that are not moving you to where you want to go. If you can sit down the night before when there's less at stake, because you're about to go to bed, right? There's less at stake at night. So you can sit and think, what did I do today? What do I want to work on tomorrow? What am I not going to focus on for tomorrow? What am I, all of those things. What do I need to lay out for tomorrow? That's another thing that I guess I can include in your game plan, is doing activities like laying out your workout clothes. If you exercise in the morning, instead of getting up in the morning and trying to figure out, in the morning you might have decision fatigue, trying to figure out what to wear, what to eat, and what to work on. And take all those decisions and activities and move most of it to the night before. Have a game plan. And what this game plan does is it informs your today's goals on the next day. So you flip that page. Remember, we said the third G is today's goals. It becomes that. But there can be times when you wake up in the morning and your intention is different, right? Your intention is different. And maybe some of the things that was on your game plan the night before are different. But the most important part is that you had a game plan and you put some thought to it. It's okay if they change in the morning, but you're not starting from a blank slate in the morning when time is already ticking, trying to figure out what your intentions are. So that is my daily 6G, or my 6G daily blueprint. So excited I can share it with you because it has changed my life. It continues to change my life, and I hope it changed your life too. Like I said, I'm working on a book that's going to allow you to incorporate the 6G daily blueprint into your life in a more effective way. So be sure to follow, subscribe, all the things to this podcast. Share this episode. I'm on a mission to help the masses to live more abundantly, more impactfully. And these daily habits are going to get you, again, Pareto's principle, 20% of what you do is going to get you 80% of the way there. I'm trying to help everybody get 100% of the way there by mastering the 20% that's going to get you the 80%, and then the rest will follow. So again, this has been Coach MJ with another episode of Persistent Purpose with MJ Hunter. Until next time, take care and be blessed.